Oh, we be live. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
I miss these. I miss these. This is my favorite time of the week where Susanna is here with me. Every time just
I
she says
know.
hi, I'm like this. Yeah, this is my favorite streams of the week.
The world
Um,
just became right.
yeah. Well, so look at the live chat. It's so full of people saying, uh, Jean is saying hi from Florida. I'm gonna misspell people's names. Look, everybody's saying hello from Nico from Germany.
Hello.
Yeah, Nuclear from Israel. Again, I'm not gonna be
Hello
able to
to
highlight
D, our
everybody.
lovely editor.
Yes, yes, fantastic. Guys, we're going to be covering the news. We have multiple different news items related to religion from all around the world. Which religion is it mostly today, Susie? I'm suspecting Islam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty predictable. We're going to be talking about
Yeah.
Islam.
These days, it's mostly Islam. It's all Islam today. What countries are we covering?
Jordan, Saudi Arabia, the UK, Canada, and then back in, well, the last one is, guys, you have to stay tuned for the last one because it's wild. I'm talking the Islamic Republic hiring biker gangs to assassinate people across the
Wow.
world. So make sure to stay tuned for that story.
Oh, look at this. We have a young atheist watching from Pakistan, and Mars is watching
Yay! Hi,
from
my
Lebanon.
friend.
Guys, I
Oh,
might not
poor
be able to highlight.
Zayd.
Oh.
Can we have good news about Jordan for once?
Is
I
it
mean,
good news? No, it's not.
you can always send me good news if you find it.
Yeah, send us good news so that maybe we could have some good news as well. Right. Okay, cool. Can we clap for the first news? Oh no, can we? No, we can't.
Um, we can clap if we're gonna be dunking on these people, which we are. We can
Okay,
treat it
we're
like
done,
that.
guys. Yes, we're not celebrating this. Okay, we're just celebrating dunking on these people. Okay, okay. Oh, look at this. Oh, hello from Haifa, from Portland, guys. I'm not going to be able to highlight every single one of them, but please keep telling us in the live chat where you're watching. I am watching them, and other people are watching as well. So this is pretty cool. Oh, most important, like, like the stream right now. Like the stream right now. No excuses. No excuses. Whatever you're doing, I know you might be exercising. I know you might be walking your dog. I know you might be washing your dishes. I don't know what you're doing. Stop for half a second. Get on your phone and like the stream before we continue. It is very important that you do that. It's important for this show that you do that. So please just do that. It takes half a second. Do it. Do it now. Okay. All right. Now we're ready. Now
What
we're ready.
now?
Yeah, look at that. Do it now. All right, yes. David saying, yes, sir, Armin, liked. Okay, well, thank you, David. I appreciate that. Like, people saying, like. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh
Yeah, tell
my
people in the live chat that
gosh.
you like so other people see. All right, all right. Can
So
we?
are
Okay,
we
so we're
gonna
live.
clap?
Yeah, we're gonna clap. We're gonna clap. Okay.
Okay.
First news.
First news, disgusting new October 7 titled restaurant unveiled in Jordan. In Jordan, a newly opened shawarma restaurant named October 7 has ignited controversy due to its association with the date of Hamas's deadly attack in southern Israel, which resulted in the death of 1,200 Israelis and the taking of hundreds of hostages. The establishment, situated in the southern Mazar district, gained attention after Dima Taboud, a former Jordanian parliament member and a member of the conservative Islamist Muslim Brotherhood organization, shared a promotional video for the restaurant. Criticism escalated when Yair Lapid, Israel's opposition leader, denounced the naming as a disgraceful glorification of the attack, stating, the incitement and hatred against Israel breeds the terrorism and extremism that leads to the brutal massacre of October 7th, and called for Jordanian condemnation. Amid backlash, the restaurant's owner claimed that the name was changed to October 7th, attributing it to a personal celebration of his daughter graduating from medical school in Algeria, I believe, as has been reported. and is unrelated to political events. A claim met with skepticism due to previous social media interactions suggesting that the name was deliberately chosen to commemorate the Hamas attacks. This controversy has surfaced amidst a period of heightened tensions between Israel and Jordan, further straining their diplomatic relations. So, this was insane. When I opened Twitter one day, and this is what I saw, I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? So, let's try to be charitable for a moment and just hear what their excuse is. My understanding is that they have since changed the name, or just, I think they changed the name to just October. They took out the 7, they just named it October. But they say, no, 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 no. This wasn't political at all. This wasn't about, a day of genocide against Jewish people. No, 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 no. This was about me celebrating the fact that my daughter graduated from medical school in Algeria on October 7th. And people are like, that's complete BS because we saw your social media, and your social media had statements asking for suggestions on a new name, and this was one of the suggestions, and you went with it. So if that was the case, and you did this after October 7th, can you
Right.
reasonably say that that date means something else? Or he's like, I'm sorry for the offense. I didn't know that this would hurt people. Like, can you give me a break? We're less than 6 months out from the worst killing of Jews since the Holocaust. Read the room. Like, it's insane. So, to be honest, I do not believe their explanation. I do not believe their excuses. To be fair, I have not been able to locate these alleged social media posts asking for name suggestions. I can't read or write in Arabic, so I can't do my research in that way. But I have a hard time believing that even if this was to commemorate a different event, that you wouldn't see the issue or wouldn't see why people would actually be attracted to a restaurant with that name. And considering the fact that, I mean, Armin, I don't know if you're watching on monetization. I'm I let
I
let
will.
lest ye not forget that in Gaza, I believe there is not one store named Hitler, but I think there's actually 2.
Ooh.
And
There's 2.
so, yeah, there's 2 Hitler stores in Gaza. Okay, we're just gonna
Oh
go
my
over
god.
this other, like, tiny slice of land. Okay, we got an October 7th restaurant over here. Excuse me. It's insane. And I wanted to talk about this story because, like I said, frankly, I don't believe their excuse about why they named it what they named it. Um, and I wanted to talk about this story because I want people to understand the sheer level of anti-Semitism that exists in the world. Because growing up in America, like I grew up with Jewish people. It was normal to me. Like they were my classmates. We had Holocaust education. It was just like a standard part of my life, my community, the community that my parents grew up in, and so forth. And so I really did not have an understanding of the sheer level of Jew hatred that exists in the world until I began to meet more people from Muslim backgrounds, to be frank. And then they would talk about what they grew up with in an Islamic background, in an Islamic context. And I was like, this is a level of anti-Semitism that I cannot comprehend. And I'm more familiar with it now, and I'm going to be frank, I think I still do not have a full comprehension of how deep the anti-Semitism is. And it's to the point, like, I was trying to communicate this to my partner, and I was having a hard time expressing this. And then like a few days later, this news story comes out with the restaurant. And he was like, there's no way this is real. I'm like, no, this is real. This is what I'm trying to communicate to you. This is a level of wait, Zane, that comment. This is a level of anti-Semitism that is beyond the comprehension of most people that I think live in the West. And that's why we need to showcase it so that it's fully understood, because then the attitudes and the landscape of this conflict as a whole, I think, begin to crystallize. Zaid said, I also know people who tried its shawarma and said it's not good.
That's great.
That's
By the way, for
hilarious.
people who don't know, Zaid is a Palestinian living in Jordan. That's why.
Yeah.
He went,
Oh my
he knows about
God.
it.
Okay, well, the Yelp reviews are in, and apparently it's not worth it. I mean, is it like, is it cheap? So it's like good for how cheap it is, or it's just flat out not good? There's a gambit
I'm surprised.
here.
It's hard to get. I have never. Okay, I know a lot of people will hate me for this, but I have never had shawarma that I did not like. It's really hard to mess up shawarma. Shawarma is good. How could you not make good shawarma?
I mean, no, but considering that, they're in Jordan, and I'm assuming that
Oh yeah.
shawarma is bountiful, your standards become a
Right,
lot
right.
higher.
Yes.
Versus, for me, shawarma
You're right, Zaid.
I have slim
You're
pickings.
right. Zaid probably has higher standards than us. That's why. You're right.
Yeah.
He lives in
Shawarma's
shawarma
shawarma,
land.
but no, that's just because I don't have a lot of it. If I had a lot of it, I would be able to develop a firm and nuanced palate.
I'm gonna order shawarma soon after this. Actually, I'm getting hungry talking, but non-genocidal shawarma. I promise.
Yeah, thank you very much. We will not be
ordering.
patroning this
I will make
establishment.
sure. I will make sure that when I order shawarma, I'll double check that it's not associated with any genocide, not just October 7th genocide, but any other genocide. Right? I'll double check.
Yeah. Zaid. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. When you're in Jordan, mediocre shawarma is bad shawarma.
Oh, okay. See, you're right. You're right. Now I want to go to Jordan.
I'm such a plebeian. He has these really high standards. But anyway, enough about my ranting. Armin, what did you think when you saw this story?
I thought, of course, why not? This is what I expect. By the way, Hindutva Susanna is saying shawarma jihad. But what was the?
I have
what
not
was
seen
the?
Hindutva Susanna for a long time. That's wild. It's so weird for me to think this person is probably in different live chats as Hindutva Susanna. The photo of me from like 2 years ago. Just out in the wild. Just out in the wild. There's this Hindutva Susanna. Who knows what they say? Shit.
So wait, what was it? So the officials, Jordanian officials, are they like? What is their opinions on this?
I didn't see anything specifically said by Jordanian officials. Maybe there was an update, and I tried to look for it, and people can correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, I mean, it's a private establishment. I mean, I know that Jordan isn't great on free speech in many realms, but I don't know if they would go and crack down on this.
We should make a comic book filled with, Hindutva Susanna, Jihadi Susanna, a far right, nationalist Susanna, and then these are just will be
You want me to have
characters in
any
a comic.
career? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Why would you suggest, let's have a cartoon of far right Susanna? What's wrong with you?
No, we will have a woke Susanna. We will have a tanky Susanna and a woke Susanna, and the little characters of Susanna just like in having their own stories, and they're coming in contact with each other and fighting with each other. That would be fine. And Jihadi Susanna, that would be cool. I will I will pay for that comic. Anyways, we Jihadi
During the
Susanna.
height of our Hindutva backlash, someone did accuse me of being a Catholic jihadi,
Oh,
which was a new
Catholic
one for me.
jihadi.
That was a new one for me, a Catholic jihadi.
Catholic jihadi. Amazing.
Axel was saying trans Susanna. Trans Susanna almost happened. That was almost the timeline we lived in.
Oh, by the way, this comment you wanted to highlight by Zane?
Saying is saying this is to be expected. People all over Jordan were cheering, watching videos on people being murdered on October 7th, including my own family.
Holy crap. Holy crap. Again, guys, remember, Jordan is one of the most moderate of Islamic countries, right? So when it comes to moderate Islamic countries, what the people usually think of is either Malaysia, Indonesia, Tunisia, and Morocco. These are the four examples that people usually give. And apparently Zaid from Jordan is telling us that people were cheering while watching people being murdered on October 7th in Jordan, and that was a common thing, right? And now
Zaid
we see
has
that
sent me like on the ground footage of like the protests and rallies in support of October 7th, like in his neighborhood. It's pretty wild to watch.
That is scary. That is scary. Again, once again, this kind of suggests that the main ally of Israel in the Middle East are the Iranian people, right? The main enemy of Israel in the region is the Iranian government, and the main ally of Israel in the region are the Iranian people, both in the same location, which is interesting. But thank you, Zaid.
I like this. Trad wife Susanna, rice farmer Susanna, Italian Bob Susanna, the new game.
Oh, I like the last one.
See, this is how you get me into trouble, Armin.
Oh, okay.
This is how you get me into trouble.
We'll just won't have that. That's easy. We won't have that one.
Yeah, no race swapping, please.
That would. Yes. We got a super chat. By the way, let me see if our monetization. We're still not. Oh, never mind. We are demonetized. Wait, do I have? I forgot to prepare the meme. We've been demonetized. No. Let me prepare the meme. I will bring up the meme. I should have. For some reason, I thought today we're not gonna get demonetized. That's why I didn't have the meme prepared. I don't know why I thought that, but that's what I thought. So sorry about that, guys. I will make sure to always have the meme ready. And it's gone. It's gone. We lost our monetization, guys. At the first story, we have like 4 more stories to go, and we lost our monetization by the first one. It's because you used the H word. You used the Adolf guy. It's that one. I think it's that guy. You mentioned his name.
How else am I supposed to say what's there? Also, we're probably going to lose it anyway this stream.
I know. I'm kidding.
Okay, well thank you for everyone that helps us by growing this channel, by giving us super chats, because the YouTube gods have it out for Atheist Republic. And so by lending us super chats, sending us super chats, it really does go very long ways in supporting this channel. And if you want to make sure to support this channel no matter what, you can join and become a monthly donor on PayPal for as little, actually as $1 a month. But we have a 666 tier, $6.66 tier, which I enjoy quite a lot. Link is in the description. So please consider just becoming a monthly donor, and we can continue the show.
But also $6.99
monetization.
$6.99 is good. $6.99 is good as well. SFL saying, let's grow this channel with the super chat, but then also followed up with another chat saying, donate. Let's grow this channel to educate others. Yes, and if you can't donate, or if you don't want to spend any money, just like the stream, that also very much helps a lot. That also helps. But thank you so much to everybody who's donating.
Kenny, one of our lovely volunteers. Thank you, Kenny. He helps me out all the time. Just gave us €5 with no comment. And
thank you.
Marco just gifted 5 people Atheist Republic memberships. So guys, if you were just given an Atheist Republic membership, make sure to drop your new emojis in the live chat, which include emojis of me liking the Quran. Not liking the Quran, licking the Quran, excuse me.
licking. That's
Maybe I
very
liked
big
it enough
difference.
to lick it.
That's it. Yeah. Also, I'm making member only content, Susie. I don't know if you know. I'm making and editing, cutting member only content. So if you're a member, you get to see those as well. So that's another perk.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What are you talking about on the member ones?
Well, I'm answering people's questions on the Q&As on only members questions. Like, so we have streams that are only for members where I answer the questions, and then we cut those into pieces, and each one of them will become a member only video.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, Bull McLeod just gave a super chat saying, "Oh, I bet it was the new demonetized Susanna model."
Well,
An
thank you for the super
emoji.
chat.
And Balakrishnan just gave us a super chat of 400 rupees. Thank you so much.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Balakrishna. All right. So these were the super chats. Let's go to the next news. Let me see if I have it ready. Ooh, the next one is from Saudi Arabia.
Yes,
I've
this
seen
is
this
interesting.
one. This is very interesting. All right. Okay, cool. So clappable, obviously. All right. Next news.
Next news, Saudi Arabia unveils plan for first alcohol store. Saudi Arabia is set to open its first alcohol store in Riyadh, a groundbreaking move aimed exclusively at non Muslim diplomats. This decision marks a significant shift in the ultra conservative kingdom, reflecting Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman's ambitious Vision 2030 initiative to diversify the economy beyond oil and to liberalize certain aspects of Saudi society. The store, located in the diplomatic quarter, will require customers to register via a mobile app and receive clearance from the foreign ministry. Despite the kingdom's strict prohibition of alcohol, with penalties including fines, imprisonment, and deportation for expatriates, this initiative indicates a nuanced approach to international diplomacy and business. The Saudi government's recent regulations on alcoholic imports for diplomatic missions aim to curb the black market while ensuring access within specified quotas, signifying a cautious yet transformative step in the country's reformative journey under bin Salman's leadership. Bum, bum, bum. Armin, what do you think about this? I want to go straight into your opinion, to be honest.
Well, okay, so this is obviously a major shift. They're selling alcohol in the land of the prophet, okay? I could come up with excuses for it if you want. As if you want to say, I could argue that this is not un-Islamic, right?
Oh, yes. Can we please
Because
get Mufti Armin? Mufti Armin, please lend us your fatwa.
I need a mufti hat or something, so put it
I
on
know.
when
The
I
next
am making
emoji
giving
that I
you this
want to
one.
make is a Mufti Armin emoji. We need a Mufti Armin emoji.
Yes. This is okay. Here's the guys. If you're watching a Muslim and you're like, oh my god, a lot of ex-Muslims are like, oh my god, this is so un-Islamic and stuff. I will give you the narrative that you're supposed to use to defend this situation. Okay, Susanna, did you know that during the Abbasid period, Christians were allowed to buy and sell alcohol? The rule only applied to Muslims, like the Islamic caliphates did not force Christians to not drink alcohol. They also allowed them to sell even alcohol. They had like stores where they sold
Wow,
alcohol,
I
and even
did
the
not know
yeah.
that. I did
There
not
you go.
know.
So this is in accordance with Islamic, or what the ulama consider to be okay, because they're only allowing non-Muslims to sell alcohol to non-Muslims, which is Islamically fine. So they're just going back to the roots of Islam. They were just being extra harsh. This is Islamically okay. There you go. Did you enjoy that, guys? Did you like that?
I mean, I learned something.
Yeah.
Do you know if
So
Catholics were allowed to use it in ritual practice?
I don't know that.
Okay.
I can check. I don't. I just know that I just know this because Muslims who are being tempted to drink alcohol, they will go to the Christian neighborhood to secretly buy alcohol from the Christians.
Oh.
When they were like there,
Mm.
if you get arrested, like the officials will come like, what were you doing in the Christian bazaar, huh? Like, let me say, like, you smell like, what were you doing there? Like, some people like, oh, you got me. I'm gonna get lynched. But the Christians were so in fact, somebody like, oh, see how amazing Islam is. They only force the people, but again, it's nonsense because there's a lot of rules, Islamic rules, that are forced upon Christians. Um, maybe not drinking alcohol, but like Zena rules, or also you can't promote Christianity. You can't have churches that have the cross on them. Your churches are supposed to be lower than any mosques in the area. You cannot build new churches. So there's a lot of rules that get forced on Christians and other people, non-Muslims, but maybe not this one. Like, maybe you could drink alcohol. However, it doesn't really matter whether or not this is Islamically allowed. This is obviously a major trend in the direction where a lot of Muslims don't like. So whatever the justification for it is, Islamically or otherwise, it's obvious that Saudi Arabia is getting less Islamic. I would say this is more Islamic than MBS allowing, I don't know, Western celebrity woman coming
Halloween.
into Halloween. Yeah,
I
that
can't
is
get
that is more.
celebrities is
Yes.
one thing. I can't get over like unsegregated Halloween. Like that was
Right. So yeah, Saudi Arabia allowing Halloween is more anti-Islamic than Saudi Arabia allowing non-Muslims to drink alcohol. Because not allowing non-Muslims to drink alcohol is completely in accordance to Islam, fine. But having Halloween is like pure shirk. Like, you're just now allowing shirk in the Holy Land. You're allowing shirk in the land of the Prophet. That is like, okay, but again, the impact on the Muslim community worldwide, this alcohol is more significant. So again, you have to look at what is allowed, what Islamically based on the ulama, and what people get offended by among the Muslim community, right? So the ulama, the Islamic scholars, might get more offended by allowing Halloween in Saudi Arabia than this alcohol, right? Because this alcohol is just for non-Muslims. But the Muslim community worldwide, they don't care about like that much having Halloween in Saudi Arabia. They probably, a lot of them celebrate Halloween themselves, not thinking about this being shirky or stuff like that, right? But this alcohol stuff, they will pull their hair out. So the Islamic scholars pull their hair out over different things than the Muslims worldwide as a community will pull their hair out. This is kind of seen as more going in the direction of being un-Islamic, more by the average Muslim, not by a scholar, but the average Muslim will think like, oh my God, they're selling alcohol in Saudi Arabia now. This is a sign of end of times. This showed that the Saudis are not Islamic. They're going full Western. This is shameful, but stuff like that. Again, it depends on how much they know their Islam, and the average Muslim doesn't.
so. Well, one thing I wanted to talk to you about is kind of what do you think about MBS, the reformer, in
Oh,
general?
he's an atheist. He's. I am convinced almost. I agree with Harris Sultan on this. I have no evidence for this, but if I was a betting man and I had to bet, I would think that not that I celebrate the guy. The guy is like freaking like. I mean, I do enjoy some of the things he's doing in Saudi Arabia. I don't congratulate him because he's a criminal, but I do enjoy the effect of a lot of the things that he's doing in Saudi Arabia. And I also agree with Harris Sultan that if I had to guess, he probably hates Islam. I think Mohammed bin Salman probably thinks that Islam is basically costing his country, is holding him back. They need to be able to bring tourism and investments, and he's trying to find a way to basically change Islam or something like that. But like, yeah. But I think in his own private, if you had asked him and he knew nobody would ever know, he would probably tell you that, yeah, this is all bullcrap. I'm convinced that Mohammed bin Salman is like, yeah, Islam is entirely nonsense.
I mean,
Yeah.
we obviously have taken a very strong stance against MBS for a multitude of reasons on this
Yes.
channel, the most important of which being the brutalization and intentional humanitarian disaster inflicted upon the Yemeni people. which tankies suddenly seem to have an awareness of, if only because of the Houthis. And so one thing I've been thinking about is, what do you think about MBS in the long arc of history?
Oh, it's a major gamble. We don't know. By the way, we see the super chats. I'm gonna read all
Yeah.
of them, guys. So it's either going to save Saudi Arabia or going to completely bankrupt them. Bankrupt Saudi Arabia. I don't know if it's not going to be what Mohammed bin Salman is doing to Saudi Arabia has left no room for a middle ground. You know, it's Saudi Arabia is either going to progress, you know, unimagined in an unrecognizable way, is going to either be a miracle success or it's going to crash and burn, the in a dramatic way. There is like he basically is putting all the chips on the table, and now we're going to see what the next flip of the card is going to be. But yeah, we don't know. The fossil fuels are going to become a much less source of revenue for Saudi Arabia in the nearer future than a lot of people expect. And if Saudi Arabia doesn't find a way to change its economy in a very, very dramatic way, it will go completely bankrupt very soon. And that's why they're so desperate to do this. That's why they're changing everything so fast. But it's not happening fast enough. I can tell you that. But go on.
What do you think is a bigger gamble from MBS? These giant, seemingly doomed to fail mega projects that he does, that he's pouring all this GDP into, or this very like top-down cultural reform? Which is a bigger gamble?
So Saudi Arabia has three threats, right? Threats from outside, specifically from the Islamic Republic of Iran, right? Threats from inside, we could have an Islamic revolution in Saudi Arabia the same way that we had in Iran in 1979 against the monarchs, right? And trust me, there's a lot of people in Saudi Arabia who are looking at this right now and like more eager to do that than ever before. And threat of bankruptcy, because oil and gas are not going to be able to bring the revenue that Saudi Arabia needs to maintain, to pay for its budget, right? So these are the threats, and the only way Saudi Arabia can survive is to bring so much economic activity, even if some of the project fails, as long as it makes Saudi Arabia into an economic hub, as long as it increases the activity so much so that when the money from oil and gas dries out, there is so much economic activity in Saudi Arabia that they just stay there because of the networking effect, because there's already so many offices, there's already so many lawyers, investment bankers, accountants are already there. There's so many corporations that have already been established in Saudi Arabia that even without the oil money, they just stay there, right? That is basically the bet that they're making. That's why they're investing so much in these projects, just so that with the excuse of these projects, all these businesses come to Saudi Arabia. But that's a huge gamble. But I can see why they're betting. A lot of times you look at these projects and they seem stupid. But honestly, they're not stupid. Their whole point, they need to be this big to bring all this activity in Saudi Arabia, so that when the oil runs out, they just stay there. So I could see why they had to bet so big. They have to bet so big because there's no other way. Their economy is way too independent on oil and gas. And for you to be able to diversify so fast, you have to like bet everything on everything else, like on tourism, on celebrities, on everything, on green energy, on everything you possibly can, on sports, because you don't have time. So to be honest, it's not that what they're doing is not, it might look stupid, but it makes sense because they're running out of time.
Oh my God. Well,
that's a good response.
It's interesting to watch from afar. I'll just say that.
Right. Yeah. Whatever happens, it's going to be entertaining. At least I can tell you that. Whether Saudi Arabia becomes like a major booming, modern, futuristic investment tourism hub. That is going to be interesting to see. If it crashes and burns, also it's expensive entertainment, but it's going to be interesting. Yeah, to
Time to
see that.
sink
I
or
don't know what.
swim, baby. Let's go.
Yes, yes, I don't
Better
know,
start
but
that
again,
donkey battle.
I can't imagine it being in the middle of these two. It's going to be one of these two. It's just not going to be the status quo for sure,
Hmm.
almost for sure. Let's look at some of the comments they found for us. Like, okay, so this Abu Abdurrahman, judging by his user profile, this guy is very Islamic, saying this is basically the Shahada on his profile picture, saying, "Not sure why I'm feeling devastated about this news. May Allah protect Saudi Arabia." Right?
That's exactly what you were
So
just talking about.
yeah, see, like this is what the kind of response people, the average Muslim would have. So this one is Rehan saying non-Muslim diplomats could already import alcoholic products until recently. The Saudi government put on ban on alcohol imports for diplomats because they had started smuggling in via Bahrain. Now it will be available for them, but they will have to pay. End of black market. So this also, guys, confirming that that was already a thing, that you had alcohol acts was accessible to non-Muslims. Again, they're non-Muslims, so why,
Also,
Islamically,
it's
why should that
accessible
rule
to
apply to
Muslims
them?
as well. I mean, like, you just have to go a little ways to get it. Like, I have friends that lived in the UAE that just go across the border to get trashed and go crazy. Like, this isn't
Right.
also not to, go libertarian on you guys, but this is why prohibition oftentimes doesn't work. It's because of the black market. If there's a demand,
Mm.
the black market will supply.
Oh, this is an interesting comment. The same Arab lands that give airspace to the kufr, means basically the Americans, right? The infidels, right? To kill Arab and non-Arab Muslims. Enough with these munafiq Arabs, rulers, and kuffar borders. May Allah hasten the Khilafat. Oh, this is very interesting. So this guy is saying that he expected these from the Saudis because these are the same Saudis that give airspace to American planes, American fighter planes, the infidels. So the Saudis are already not non-Muslim. So basically, he's calling them the munafiqs, which is an Islamic, the Quranic term for people who act like they're Muslim, but they're not really Muslim. They're called hypocrites. So he's calling the Saudis munafiq, like they're not really Muslim. Probably true though. Arab rulers and kufr. May Allah, and he
You
says,
just
may
talk-
Allah. Yeah, I just takfired Muhammad bin Salman. I just
you
called
know
him a
what, brother? I
non-Muslim.
agree with your takfir.
I, I agree, brother Hadil. I agree with you takfiring, but you should ask me next time because I'm a mujtahid, and you cannot takfir anybody by yourself. You have to come to me. I'm a mujtahid. Okay, I do ijtihad. I'll do that for you. Okay, and then it says, "May Allah hasten the caliphate." So this is basically a wish for the downfall of Islam. So a lot of you guys think like Muslims, religious Muslims, support Islamic rulers. They don't. Many religious Muslims are hoping for the downfall of Islamic countries. And a lot of you don't understand that, because I see a lot of you like, oh, if Muslims love Palestinians so much, why do Islamic countries are not supporting the Palestinians? You tell that to Muslims. And you don't understand that many of these religious Muslims, they don't like the religion, the government of Islamic countries. They are wishing for their downfall. They're wishing for the downfall. They think that rulers of Islamic countries are non-Islamic, especially because they're not a caliphate. If they were Islamic, according to people like this, they would just give away the concept of a nation state in favor of the concept of the caliphate, just like ISIS and Hizb ut-Tahrir is trying to do, right? Anyway, so that was like a good education for all of us here.
Man. Okay, so let's go through some super chats. Thank you for the super
Let's
chats,
do that.
everyone. Eden gave us 6 shekels, saying, "Why shawarma? Why not falafel?"
Shawarma
Referring
is
to the
better than
previous
falafel.
news story. Shawarma is better than falafel.
Shawarma
An
is better than
Asian
falafel.
American had a
Come at me.
very
Yeah,
astute
but thank you for the shekels. Yeah.
um very astute observation that I agree with. What Mohammed bin Salman is doing is Islam with Saudi characteristics.
Oh, this is like communism with Chinese characteristics. Wow.
I
Very
see what
interesting
you
observation.
did there, and
I
I
see
see it.
what, yeah.
You know, Asian American can sometimes be very esoteric, very mysterious,
This
very
is
I
this is better. More comments like this, Gaijin.
yes, very obscure. But this, I get it. I see it. I
Yeah,
understand. Okay.
right.
Rami gave a super chat saying one joke in Arab countries these days is let's hurry up and perform the Hajj before MBS restores the idol around the Kaaba. It's coming. No. I mean, hey, that was big business. The pagan Kaaba was big business. And
Yeah,
then
why?
Muhammad came and monopolized that business.
Yeah, what is that thing called? The new Kaaba?
Oh, the cube.
Uh, yeah, but it's, oh yeah, there we go.
It has a name. Yeah, this it's
Wait,
like
I want to show.
literally I'm like this has got to be like a Kaaba for capitalism. Like this whole
Yes, because
store
it's
is
also a mall.
it's literally a mall. Slash, I think there's like houses inside of it as well.
Yeah, I will bring it up. I'm having a hard time. Oh yeah, it's in Riyadh. Why do you need to bring idols inside the Kaaba where you could just make a Kaaba that is an idol? Right? Like, no need. Oh, here, it's so much better as well. This is what Mohammed bin Salman is building. Look at that in Riyadh. Why would you like? I don't
As
understand. Like,
soon
are
as I
you
saw the
trying?
plans unveiled for this, I'm like, this gotta be an issue. Like this has got to
Like,
piss people off.
are you trying to tell people that you're against Islam? Like, people are already saying Muhammad bin Salman is not a Muslim. I'm like, okay, what if I competed with the Kaaba? What if I made something that looked like the Kaaba but in gold, and it was dedicated to shopping, right? And to to materialism, to this world rather
Consumerism.
than the other
Yeah.
one. Yeah, and like you have that in Mecca. In Mecca, you have the Kaaba. In Riyadh, which is the actual capital of Saudi Arabia, I will make a bigger cube in gold that is dedicated to shopping.
It's a
Like the dunya over
physical, yeah, dunya versus akhirah.
dunya over the akhirah. Like, if this is not shirk and idol worship, like directly competing with the Kaaba. He's basically telling people like, "Oh, you're calling me not a Muslim?" Yeah, yeah. Like he's like telling them like, "Yeah, of course. Look at me. I'm competing with your
Yes,
Islam."
and he went, yes, and
This is. Oh my god.
oh my god.
Yeah, it's beautiful though. I like to see it.
I mean, this is a mock-up. We'll see if it actually fits. Or actually is completed.
Oh,
Just remember it's gonna have the freaking like giant LED like augmented reality thing on the inside. The
okay.
videos
But even
of this
before,
thing are insane.
he built that, okay, look what he did. Okay, what the Saudis did in general, right? They built a clock tower right next to the Kaaba, right? You know this clock tower, which is massive, and they copied Big Ben in London. This is talking about westernization of the holiest city in the world. This is not Islam. Like, when you see a clock tower, do you think Islam? Do you think Islam, like, there's nothing Arab or Islamic about this? This is they just took Big Ben and they're like, what if we made it bigger and just put it right next to the Kaaba? This like makes the Kaaba look so insignificant.
The view has got to be pretty crazy though.
Yeah, you're like, the Kaaba looks like nothing. They're like, Like, which one looks more godly? This massive giant tower or this little cube over there? Like, I bet you, like, this is why a lot of Islamic videos of the Kaaba doesn't show the clock tower. Because when you think of something godly, when you're next to that clock tower, you're like, okay, that looks more out of this world than this little cube over here. Like, you're not going to get divine feelings out of this cube when you're right next to this giant clock tower. Do you know how big that clock tower is compared to Big Ben?
No.
Actually, let me actually find the, if there is any comparison in size. But yeah, read the super chats until I get this comparison in size.
Oh, okay. Trells gave us another super chat. Thank you, saying this is like Sweden on steroids. Sales of alcohol in Sweden is a government chartered monopoly called Systembolaget. That sounds like an issue. I know Russia had a monopoly over alcohol, and they basically made their entire country alcoholics. I mean, I'm assuming you have a different system in Sweden, but I don't know how I feel about that. That's weird. Whoa!
yeah.
That's the size comparison?
Yeah, look at this.
Good God.
Look at this size. Look at this is the clock tower in Mecca, and this is the this is Big Ben. Look at that. Look how tiny the Big Ben is compared to this clock tower in Kaaba. Like, I have been next to Big Ben, and it looks big. Imagine if you were next to this tower. Big Ben is huge, isn't it? You've been next to Big Ben. Have people who have been next to Big. It's a big tower, but look at this tower in Kaaba, in Mecca. Look at that.
That's a big
I mean, if you were next to that, you will feel like this is like huge. This is like out of this world huge. It looks godly. Anyways.
Okay, so we got another super chat by Gasian American. Thank you, Gasian. Saying there are many Indian workers and they can fill the new Kaaba with their own idols and use it to win Indian investments. Well, I think that would cause a stir. And I am having the amusement of my lifetime watching this person called Autistic Berserker go berserk in the live chat, seemingly speaking at themselves. It's been so entertaining to watch. And Autistic Berserker says Armin is an intel agent. No, but he wishes he was.
Yes.
Then all of
future Armin.
All of the nonsense going on in the chat can be explained by this simple next statement, which is I am Antifa. Oh baby, I'm so sorry. And
might be trolling. I don't know, might be trolling.
Followed up by supporting capitalism is the most important thing for fascists. Okay, interesting, because I would think that, you know, government centralized control over a command economy would be a lot more important for maintaining, you know, ultra state power towards fascism. Guys, support the free market.
Yeah, fascism requires centralized control. Capitalism is the opposite of that. So, yes.
The older I get, the more libertarian I get. I started calling myself a libertarian sympathizer because some libertarians go way too far. And I'm like, oh, honey, no.
Capitalism is actually one of the most liberating forces on the planet because, you know, people, when they are consuming and producing and being productive, capitalism is like, yeah, we should not limit these people's freedoms because you know, it's like everyone's dollars are green, no matter if you're black or you're white or you're an immigrant. Capitalism is like, yeah, let's control people less because they're being productive when we don't limit them.
Which is why we need an overhaul of immigration in America. Our like green
Yeah.
card H-1B visa system is so fucked.
Mm. Anyways, that's a
It's
different
literally
topic. Let's go to the.
anti-capitalist.
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah. We should talk about your discussion with Harris Salter at the end of the stream about that, because
Oh
that
yeah,
was a
we can get
very
that
good
on then.
discussion. Yes, that was a very good discussion. I enjoyed that a lot. All right, so can we clap for the next news?
Oh, this is so interesting. Yeah. And Armin, while
All
I
right.
read out the synopsis, can you in the show notes, I put a link to a video that I want to show. So if you could, I think it would help explain the overall situation a little bit more in
Is
completion. So please bring that up while I read the synopsis.
is the BBC News link, and the video is within that link?
Yes. Yeah, because I couldn't find it anywhere else. Okay. So
Okay.
shall we clap?
Next news.
Next news exposed Iran's covert mission to spread anti Semitism in UK schools. But it's not just anti Semitism, it's actually just a literal covert soft war against Britain as a whole. Um, the UK's Charity Commission is investigating alarming instances of anti Semitism within British schools, following the discovery of videos featuring former Iranian generals delivering speeches laden with hate and the propaganda of death to Israel sentiments. Among the scrutinized content are talks by members of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or IRGC for short, with one explicitly engaging in Holocaust denial and forecasting a destructive war against Jews. These events, promoted by the Islamic Students Association of Britain and held at the Qanun Tawhid Islamic Center in London, have sparked outrage. Conservative MPs Alicia Kearns has called these acts, quote, a brazen act of radicalization, and advocates for the IRGC to be recognized as a terrorist organization by the UK government. The Charity Commission, under the chairmanship of Orlando Fraser, is investigating these reports, emphasizing that charities must not serve as platforms for extremism or hate speech. This situation underscores the challenges faced by regulatory bodies in curbing the spread of hate and ensuring that the educational environments remain free from radicalization. So, one thing that I want to clarify, and Armin, now is a good time to bring up that video because it provides a lot more detail, is that what basically happened is that there was videos and from talks that happened a few years ago that have just been discovered and are being exposed and like brought forward, and now they're being investigated now because of these talks that happened like in, I think one was 2020, one was 2021. But please bring forward the video, and you might want to put it on 1.5 speed because they talk
No, it's fine.
very slow.
It's. I think it's fine. It's fine.
Okay.
Let me see. It's not that long, anyways. If we get audio, I
The
think.
chant repeated is death to Israel. It's not in Iran, but Hammersmith, West London, inside the Qanun Tawhid Islamic Center. The event was to celebrate the life of top Iranian Revolutionary Guard commander, General Qasem Soleimani. Soleimani was killed in a US airstrike, and he was sanctioned in the UK for links to terrorism. This was one of 3 events captured on video and seen by the BBC. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, the IRGC, is one of the most powerful paramilitary organizations in the Middle East. Some MPs fear it's trying to radicalize UK students. And security services say it's plotting to kidnap or kill people on British soil. The 2 other events were online speeches by former and active IRGC commanders, promoted in advance by the Islamic Students Associations of Britain, who are based inside Qanun Tawhid. This is former senior IRGC commander Saeed Qassemi. He is known for extreme speeches, and in this clip, he falsely claims the Holocaust was fake.
اون اینه که هولوکاست واقعی در کشور تو اتفاق افتاد. اونی که میگن یهود
You're muted.
All right, so he's saying the real Holocaust took place in your country, Iran. The one that the Jews claim is a lie and fake. Wait, there's a Holocaust that happened in Iran? Is he talking about the famine?
یهودیا یک چیز دروغین و ساختگیه.
He also glorifies the death of IRGC commander General Qasem Soleimani and describes his return from death in an apocalyptic war that will end the lives of Jews.
که این پایان عمر
You're muted again.
You know what? I'm not going to mute myself anymore. So he says, this will bring... Okay,
Lives of Jews.
که این
say this will bring an end to the life of the oppressors and the occupiers.
پایان عمر ظالمین و اشغالگران و صهاینه است.
Zionists and Jews across the world.
یهودیا در کل جهان که
Look at the top left of the footage. The banner written in Farsi translates to the Islamic Students Associations of Britain. We also obtained footage of this live streamed event in September 2020. It lasted over 20 minutes and was watched by around 1,500 people. It was hosted by the man on the left, Mohammed Hussein Ateye, a British citizen educated in Yorkshire who was secretary of the Islamic Students Associations of Britain at the time. He is no longer the secretary, and this is the only event he appears in. The man on the right is IRGC commander Hossein Yekta, and he had this message for students.
So it says Imam Khomeini told us that the battlefront is the university. This means you have become the young soft war officers who must convey our message.
Mohammed Hussein Ateye said the allegations are false, but would not answer the BBC's questions. Previously, he said he does not have direct or indirect affiliation to the IRGC or any army, government, or security group in the world.
But
Cannon
here's a
Tower
video
is
of me
owned by the
talking
Altawi
to an
charitable
IRGC commander. Like,
Yeah, what the hell? Like, yeah, I have no connection to them while having a live stream with the
and
IRGC
smiling and being
commanders.
like, oh,
Cannon
yes,
Tower.
the soft war. Like, what?
Yes, yeah. By the way, the end of that software ended up having a lot of those people, university students, executed. So just to know what happened, the end of that software that Khomeini started.
Is owned by the Altawi Charitable Trust. The Charity Commission is investigating events inside Cannon Tower and is now examining the video seen by the BBC. The Islamic Students Associations of Britain told the BBC it is an independent group with no affiliations to any government. It added that all its activities are lawful.
The hell, man? Okay, what the hell?
Yes. Okay. I need your reactions. I need just your reactions seeing these specific IRGC people like speaking to British student associations.
This is insane. Like, this is propaganda I grew up with. For that to now be spread in the UK so openly and so transparently and without any resistance, I don't understand. Like, this is I never would have imagined, like, growing up in Iran, seeing this kind of propaganda in our school and in TV. I would have never imagined that ever making its way to the UK. Never in my wildest dream. Even when I was a Muslim, I would never imagine this would happen. This is absolutely insane. Like, again, sometimes people tell me that, I don't know, London has fallen, blah, blah, blah. Islamism is, spreading, Sharia creeping. And I feel like, okay, that's an exaggeration. That's not happening. And then I see this. And again, this is the BBC. Okay, this is not like Douglas Murray. This is not like a Douglas Murray social media channel. This is the BBC telling you this. I mean, when BBC is telling you this, then yeah, shit is real. Like, this is a problem, and it's only going to get worse. Am I missing something, guys? Are we exaggerating here? Are we like fear mongering? I mean, if we're fear mongering, the BBC then is fear mongering. Like, I am afraid when I see the
Ayatollah
BBC.
BBC.
No, I mean, the BBC is the last place to admit these things, right? So if they're scared, they're like, okay, maybe it's time to panic. Like, I mean, like, I don't want to fearmonger, but like, when do we hit the panic button? At the point that BBC is also scared? Is that the point when we hit the panic button? Because that seems to me that's the moment when we hit the panic button. Am I missing something here? I don't want to be
And
responsible for
for people that
fearmongering.
don't understand, the reason why I say Ayatollah BBC as a joke is because there is a conspiracy within many Iranian communities that the BBC is actually a psyop, like legitimately a psyop of the Islamic Republic. So if and to talk about it, they call it Ayatollah BBC, or there was a whole song about it. Armin played me a whole song about the what was it, BBBC John or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. Ayatollah. Yeah, there's a song about it.
And because people genuinely believe that the BBC is controlled by the Islamic Republic. So if the quote unquote Ayatollah BBC is reporting on this, then I think we have we got a problema on our hands. So there was one little additional piece of context that I wanted to provide because I was like, oh my God. So here's a quote from the article. In addition to the videos, the BBC has seen promotional posts dating from November 2020 for another talk to British students featuring elite former IRGC commander Ayatollah Zarghami. Mr. Zarghami, who is sanctioned in the UK for human rights abuses, posted a photo of himself on his Telegram social media account about speaking live over Zoom on the evening of the talk. Mr. Zarghami was part of a group of radical students who stormed the US Embassy in Tehran in 1979, holding Americans hostage for more than a year. He's currently the Minister of Cultural Heritage and Tourism in Iran and has since boasted of training Hamas in Gaza prior to the October 7th attacks. In an interview on Iranian state TV, he also described how he had provided Hamas with missiles. So this is someone who is speaking to Islamic British student organizations. And they're like, oh no, this is completely lawful. We have no associations with any governments, but we were explicitly, I think I need to look up the name of their branch, but I think they were literally founded as Khomeinyists, like back in the day. And so I'm like, what do you mean you have no association? You're literally straight up Khomeinyists. Like, okay, wait, here it is. The online talks were promoted in advance of the Islamic Students Association of Britain, or ISA for short, and its affiliates, which use the Qanun Tawhid Center as a meeting place. Unlike the UK's main Muslim student groups, ISA was founded to promote the philosophy of the leader of the Islamic Revolution in Iran, Ayatollah Khomeini. So ISA literally is Khomeinyists. And they're like, so what do you mean you have no association?
Yeah, Khomeinism is also the part of that ideology is to basically take over the world with the Velayat Faqih version of a Shia brand of Islam. I mean, these people's goals, this is a Shia ideology that its entire goal right now is to topple the UK government, and they say that, and the Islamic and the United States government and all other European governments, they're doing a coup. They are trying to do a coup. They're trying to spread Islam in the land. And the main eventual goal is to get enough people within the politics of the UK to either, especially within the military, to eventually either get the people who are in the military and within the politics of the UK to convert to Islam because they're doing that one stuff, or more realistically, just have so many young people converting to Islam with UK citizenship so that eventually they will make it within the politics and within the military, and then they will change the laws of the UK enough so that it falls to and UK become an Islamic government. And again, I'm not saying if they're going to be successful. I'm just saying they openly say that that's their plan. These are people
this is the heart of Islamism.
Yeah. I mean, we have Hezbollah Tahrir groups that are trying to do that, but this is the Shia version of that, and they openly brag about it. These are the same people that say that soon we will have, Islamic, like in Iran. Many people who support the IRGC, they will say that we will turn the White House into a Hosseinieh within our lifetime. I don't know if people know what Hosseinieh is. The places you go, like Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. They say they're saying the White House will turn into a Hosseinieh within their
It looks
lifetime.
like
That's
a
what they're
gay
saying.
club, but you slap yourself a lot.
Yeah, instead of somebody else slapping
A
you.
lot of
Yeah.
big sweating men in black tight t-shirts slapping themselves a lot while there's like red lighting and music. Every time I see a Husseini, I'm like, this looks like the gay club. Just without drag queens.
I have a new video from Iran. I don't know if you want to. Haven't seen this. Somebody just sent it to me.
Genuinely look like the gay leather bars I've been to. They literally look like the BDSM daddy leather bars I've been to.
Right.
So wild. Sorry, continue.
So before we read the super chat, I just got this video from someone from Iran, and I haven't watched it yet, but they said it's going to be worth watching because there's a music part of this.
Wait,
about
like
the
literally
Houthis.
right now?
Yeah, can I play
okay.
this?
Coming straight from Iran. Let's see what's going on.
So they're singing about, they're saying like, look at my missile, it's going to come blow your mind. Like, you thought we were tired and weak, but we will like come for you. So they're saying this to Netanyahu. So they're bragging about their Yemeni brothers with their like knife and their, and they're coming, I don't know, they're bragging about their Houthis coming out and doing their work for them. Like the Houthis, they are not going to let you go. When they see your ships, they're going to come and sit in your ships. They're going to come take over your ship. Oh my god, it's so cringe. They're basically singing about terrorism and bragging about the fact that they're going to do terrorist activities.
I have to be honest, though. In terms of regime propaganda music, this is probably one of the best I've seen. Because a lot of regime propaganda music, one is like they're off key. They're usually off key. The lyrics usually just suck. And they're not catchy. Except for Salam Farmande. No, it's like Salam Farmande is catchy. I get that stuck in my head. But this is like actually like, okay. Actually, I kind of
this is because they're doing a Persian, like they're doing. So here's the thing: the Islamic government, they're now doing Persian culture style music instead of just Islamic ones to be able to reach to a new audience. Yeah,
so it's a lot better. We have, you know what?
I never.
It is an improvement.
So like, these are the type
style. Immediately, I'm like, oh yeah,
yeah. So these are the type of songs that when I was a kid in Iran, you used to get arrested for, right? So you had Islamic kind of songs, and then you had like this Persian, more fun, more life living kind of songs, right? Which was like un-Islamic. So now they're like singing about terrorism. But the government is trying to use other methods instead of just using Islamic music. They're using like Persian style music to reach to a broader audience. Apparently, they're desperate.
I mean, it got me.
I think maybe it's. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if this is real. I can't believe this would be real. No, it is real. No, some people are saying that this is might be parody, but like I'm saying it's real. The people are clapping and everything. Yeah. Like I have my missiles have reached your soil. Look, they're putting videos of people running away on October 7th. Look at that. Look. That's footage of people running away on October 7th while singing about how my missiles have reached your land. And like you thought that I was weak. Like I will cut your wings. And like I am a Yemeni, so they're celebrating the Yemen. And from your my heart is filled with blood from your oppression. Like saying Yemenis will not let you go. Like they will shoot at your ships as soon as they see them. Look, the missiles. I
was not prepared for the really cringe, like, I'm behind the back.
Look, this is not Paris.
که از آقا فرمودن اگر من رهبر این کشور نبودم قطعا مسئولیت فضای مجازی این مرز و بوم رو به عهده می
It's not parody, guys. He's talking about how it's important for us to, Agha, the supreme leader had told us to control social media and become better at like having like software and social media and stuff like that. So this is not parody. I'm looking at all the comments on Instagram.
See, Armin, this is
it's not parody.
Me loving Persian music, but not knowing enough Persian language, because I could be jamming out to that song in my room and not realize that it's about killing people. So
yeah, did you see how the missiles were hitting at the ships and they were like high-fiving and like now they're like now from the back. Like, oh, look at our missile, like high five. Oh,
that behind the back high five was like the least masculine thing I've seen ever.
Oh my god. Oh god. Oh my god. This is amazing.
But as far as Iranian propaganda goes, they did a good job this time. I see a lot of propaganda songs where they are wildly off key. I'm like, the Islamic Republic is not bringing their best.
Yeah. Anyways, we have some super chats. You want to read them?
Goodness. Adam Staples gave us a super chat saying, I'm an objectivist.
Thank you.
And no longer call myself a libertarian. There's libertarians like H.H. Hope and Rechtenwald and S. Amos, who are excommunicating pro-Israeli libertarians from the libertarian movement. Something that I don't I mean, I know objectivism is different. It's associated to libertarianism broadly, but I don't love how libertarians tend to be kind of dogmatically anti-interventionist, because many times it's actually supportive of authoritarian regimes and abandoning of our allies, which is not a good thing. But we have other people like Milei who are very pro-Ukraine, pro-Israel, who are full-blown libertarians. So there's a lot of difference. And Eden gave us almost 18 shekels. Thank you, Eden, saying, fun fact, in Israel, we have a small brown bug commonly known as Khomeini. Is it a cockroach? Do you call your cockroaches Khomeinis? If so,
I mean,
based.
It's insulting to, I mean, I don't know. It's insulting to cockroaches, I think.
I think I once read or heard, I don't know if it's true, that cockroaches could survive nuclear war.
Yes.
So
What
if
do
that's
people
the
have
case, I
against
would prefer for
cockroaches?
the
They don't.
cockroaches
They're
to not
harmed.
Khomeini.
I mean, yeah, I think it's unfair to call compare Khomeini to a cockroach, because cockroaches technically they look gross, and that's why people hate them. But they don't do anything. They don't harm anybody, do they? Khomeini is way like has been very harmful to society, and cockroaches they just come and clean up your shit. I think.
Oh, people are saying that it's not a cockroach, but more like a stink bug.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah,
Stink bug. That's more. That is fair. Stink bug. Okay, that's better representation of Khomeini. I like that. Yes. Okay. Yeah, people are agreeing with me. Cockroaches are useful. Don't be anti-cockroaches. I don't understand. That should not be an insult. They just look gross. All right. Can we clap for the next news? No.
I don't think we should, even though no one died.
Yeah, no, let's not do this.
No one was even injured.
Okay, fine. We won't do it then.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Should we? Are you saying we should then?
No. I
clap.
don't think we should.
Let's clap because actually let's clap because they managed to get him because his attack failed. He failed.
That's true. Okay, we are clapping for the very brave man who stopped this person. Okay.
Right. Good. Next news.
Canadian.
Wait.
Thank you. Okay.
Next news.
Canadian terrorist attack inspired by Gaza and wokeism. The Edmonton City Hall in Canada was the scene of a shocking terrorist attack on January 23rd, perpetuated by 28-year-old Bezhani Sarwar, who now faces 6 charges, including arson and the use of a firearm to commit an offense. The attack, which involved the firing of shots and the detonation of a Molotov cocktail, caused significant damage to the building and led to its indefinite closure for repairs. Sarwar, a employee of the Canadian Corps of Commissioners, which is like kind of a like almost like security guards, carried out this attack alone, according to Edmonton Police Service Chief Dale McPhee, who noted that Sarwar was, quote, shooting randomly and assured the public no further safety concerns. So meaning like, he acted alone, we're not expecting any more attacks, like we apprehended him, we're good now, that kind of thing. In a video posted on social media, Sarwar cited concerns in the ongoing war in Gaza and then wokeism as inspirations for his actions, and expressing his motivation as including societal issues, including corruption, inflation, and the housing crisis. This incident has left the community in shock, especially given the presence of officials, journalists, and a class of first graders inside the city hall during the attack, all of whom were safely evacuated without casualties, injuries, or fatalities. So I wanted to cover this story for a bunch of different reasons. So, okay, just to recap, on January 23rd, there was this attack on the Edmonton City Hall. And I want to talk about this for a couple of reasons. I want to talk about this in terms of the media response, and I want to talk both left and right, because that's actually one of the things I found most interesting about this attack. And then also, we're not going to play his manifesto like on this stream, because I think that'd be extremely irresponsible to do so. And also we'd probably get nuked off this platform. But I think it would be good to comment on it, because I sent it to Armin to watch outside of the stream. So first things first, I find it absolutely bizarre that Canadian media is not calling this a terrorist attack. They are only calling it a shooting.
Why?
They are burying the story.
They have the manifesto?
Exactly. I'm like, a terrorist attack by definition is one that's like motivated by political ideology. This man literally released a video outlining his manifesto before he did it.
Here.
No, Damon is saying you're joking, right? Go look this up. Go look up news stories. Just look up Edmonton attack. You will see that it's constantly. No, Armin, we shouldn't play that.
I'm not gonna play it. It's muted, so I'm just gonna show. Is that okay? I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
and this
play
is
without
literally
audio.
what he's wearing as he. So this was filmed right before he carried out the attack, because it's literally what he was wearing as he carried out the attack. You can see on video.
Yeah, this is the video of him explaining why he's doing what he's doing right before he does the attack. This is his manifesto, which I'm not going to play. Actually, the actual video is a lot longer than this, but he does explain in detail what he's doing. So how is it possible that they're not calling it a terrorist attack when he
I don't
clearly
know.
recorded himself?
So Armin, when I see stuff like that, because when I first got involved in like the ex-Muslim space and kind of the issues we talked about, like people will always talk about like the Islamophilic left or the Islamophilic media. And I was like, always felt like, that seems kind of overblown. Like, what are you talking about? And then I see instances like this, and I think it's absolutely insane. They're only referring to it as a shooting. I'm like, why are you only referring to it as a shooting? My understanding is that Trudeau has not commented on this yet.
Oh, wow.
Which is crazy to me.
Why?
Is it only
Why?
because
But why?
no one was
But why?
injured? Was it only because no one was killed? I don't understand. Why would you not comment on this? Because if anyone had been killed, there was a class of first graders. They were touring Edmonton City Hall when he conducted this. This could have been one of the deadliest domestic attacks in Canadian history. But because there was another commissioner, aka like a security guard guy, who tackled and apprehended this guy while he was unarmed, and this guy had a machine gun. I don't know firearms. I don't know if it was a machine gun or automatic rifle, whatever. It was a giant freaking gun. Well, he has what looks like almost like a Kalashnikov. Again, I don't know firearms. Some commissioner tackles him while he himself is unarmed and stops this attack, and no one was injured, let alone there were no one who was killed. But this is not being covered as that kind of attack, even though he literally released his political motivating factors onto YouTube before he did this. They're like, oh no, it was just a shooting in Edmonton City Hall. And so that is so weird to me. So then here's what happened next. Then right-wing media picks it up. And they start being like, why are you guys burying the story? Why are you not talking about this as it is? Why are you only calling it a shooting? We need to talk about this. And then right-leaning media is then only covering the fact that he cites genocide in Gaza as a motivating factor to do this. And then talking about how he's like speaking Arabic in the video.
He doesn't speak. Oh, he
First
speaks
of all,
mostly Persian.
He speaks mostly Persian in the video.
He has
like
a little bit
Islamic
Arabic.
phrases. He's saying like "Assalamu alaikum," "Inshallah," "My mission will be successful." What the f his mission is supposed to accomplish is absolutely beyond me. It doesn't make any sense. But obviously, to undertake this kind of thing, you have to not be thinking clearly. So that's just a given that's not going to make sense. But. And then, that pissed me off. They're like, oh yeah, he's speaking Arabic and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. And so now this is why you get to be painted as fear mongering, because he just used like 2 Islamic phrases, but mostly he's speaking Persian in the video.
Yes.
Although he doesn't sound like he's Iranian.
Dari version.
Yeah, he doesn't speak
like an Afghani version
like
of Persian.
He sounds
like Dari.
Because he doesn't speak Persian the way I know all Persians to speak Persian. I'm like, oh, I'm assuming you're Afghan. I mean, I could be wrong, but
Dari is an Afghan dialect of Persian or Farsi. So that's what he's doing.
So this guy, I sent you his manifesto or what was available for me to find, because what I found online was itself edited. So again, I don't even have the full video available to me, because it's been removed from most platforms. But what I found was it was a weird amalgamation of like right-wing talking points and left-wing talking points.
Yeah. He was like, oh, I hate wokeism, and then proceeds to say woke stuff. Like, wait, but you're saying the woke thing. You're saying woke narratives.
And
it was so confusing.
it was very confusing because then he goes on to talk about like, we need to join together to be pro-human, and I'm not a monster that wants to go kill women and children. Meanwhile, he goes to attack a building that contains both women and children. And then he basically says that we need to fight back against multiculturalism, and that myself, as an immigrant, we immigrants need to understand that we are being manipulated and we are just pawns of a man-made crisis. We need to fight back against high inflation. We need to fight back against like housing crisis and like oil prices, like all of this stuff. And so then on the one hand, when right-wing media is the only media to pick this up, and they're just talking about, oh yeah, he was motivated by the cause for Gaza, and so now this is Islamic Jihad globalized, the Intifada is now globalized. I was
he's one of you guys.
That's also very what's the word I'm looking for? Improper framing. Because he talks about way more.
Deceptive.
Oh, thank you. It's very deceptive and it's very misleading because he talks about like this wokeism and multiculturalism as a motivating factor for why he was undertaking his quote unquote mission. Again, what his mission is and what it's supposed to accomplish, I have no understanding of. But Armin, so now that I explained some background, please give me your opinion.
So he's an Afghan Canadian who is against multiculturalism. Right? Who's anti-woke and who's also doing this in support of people in Gaza. Okay, and seems to be not religiously motivated, even though he does at the end say his goodbyes Islamically, but doesn't seem to have been having any Islamic motivations. In fact, it seems like by being anti-multiculturalism, he's against maybe Islam also reaching Canada. He's an Afghan that is against Islam reaching Canada while saying goodbye at the end Islamically.
It makes no sense.
He's like a mess. I don't know what to make of this guy. He's like a woke right-leaning person. He's like a woke right-leaning non-Islamic person that uses Islamic language. That's what he is. He's like a mess.
Maybe he's Islamic. We don't know. So in the video that I sent you, Armin,
he doesn't have. No, maybe he is, but none of his manifesto had Islamic. Did you see anything in his manifesto that has Islamic motivations other than the goodbyes at the end?
Does insane inshallah count? Like that's a lot of just
no.
That's a lot of people. How people just say like hopefully, depending on your culture.
I think
how they say like maybe. You know what I mean?
He's doing terrorist activity against inflation. Also, inflation was a big part of his manifesto.
Yeah,
I don't know how that. I don't know how that's supposed to help.
A lot of the coverage was on both sides was completely dishonest. And
this is why you come here, guys, because the right-leaning people and the left-leaning people are not covering this accurately. You come here for a more honest coverage. That's why Atheist Republic is there for you guys.
Hey,
it's weird,
but then in the video that I sent you, Armin, in portions of it, he's speaking Persian, and I could understand a few words, and I could tell.
You're gonna ask me what it was,
but did you remember what he said?
No, I'm gonna listen to that part again while you.
Because he
read the live chats, where I'll listen to the Persian part. Order.
Okay. Let's see what we have here. Oh, do you mind if I go straight to super chats? Well, first of all, Secular Sakai is saying hello, fellow heathens. Hello, Sakai. Always good to see you, my friend. Proud Mutard is saying this guy was all over the place in his manifesto. He's got both right and left points, included Islamic greetings, but religion wasn't the driving force. I don't necessarily think religion was the driving force. I don't think so. And Happy Kafir is saying, I'm Canadian and hadn't heard about this. Exactly. In Canada, a class of first graders was almost shot up, and Canadians haven't even heard about this yet. How this is not framed as a terrorist attack is so weird to me. It's so weird to me. Just because it wasn't successful, which we don't want them to be successful, does not mean that it does not fit that description. Again, he's saying
Right.
he's crazy but not religiously motivated, and his actions will bring more hate towards Muslims. Fortunately, probably just because he was saying like "Assalamu alaikum" and "Inshallah," but mostly he's speaking Dari. I believe it's Dari, just given the fact that he doesn't sound Iranian in the way that he talks. His accent was totally wrong. And oh, Numan gave us a super chat. Thank you, Numan, saying my atheist family has grown so much. Love you all. We love you too, Numan.
Oh, thank
For
you.
being here. Thank you for the super chat.
All right.
Are you ready?
Yeah, let me just translate word by word.
Okay.
He's like, don't bully people. Don't cause people harm. Do good. Always do good. Don't shed blood. Don't harm young people and some other people that I couldn't understand. Always fight for something. I don't know, fight for victory or for what. I don't know what he was wants us to fight for. Dirus. Always keep your head high. Always try hard to have a good life. I think he just needs mental support. I think this guy just needs some help. I don't. Oh my God, this is them. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So
Okay.
a commissioner
Yeah.
stopped that without being armed himself. So really, that
That's crazy.
person, that commissioner who stopped this man, like deserves a lot of praise because I cannot imagine like just tackling that with no weapons yourself.
He asked people not to shed blood right before he went and tried to shed blood. Doesn't make any sense. This person, that makes no sense. All right, we got some super chats, more super chats. Oh, one is
Thanks for the translation, by the way, Armin.
Yeah, no worries.
And I want to just say that I'm proud of myself for having the knowledge to understand that.
Oh yeah,
recognize that it's Persian, but know that he's not Iranian.
Yes. By the way, Susanna, I don't know. Susanna was like, okay, I listened to this. First of all, I'm Canadian. I had no idea that this happened. Susanna, who's not Canadian, figured this out. This was like not being covered, and Susanna picked it up. So congrats to Susanna. And then she went and found the manifesto, listened to it, and like, oh yeah, this guy is speaking Persian, but he's not Iranian. I mean, the level of deep knowledge that Susanna has is amazing. This is why it's so great that we have her here. All right, so there was another super chat. I think this is for me to answer.
Oh yeah, go for it. Gasian American, thank you, Gasian, saying, how can capitalism defend against monopolies and copyright spamming? This is a good.
Well, I mean, capitalism is not against regulation. I think a lot of people confuse capitalism with laws of fair. We have different forms of capitalism. The form of capitalism that I support is regulated capitalism. And one of the most important principles that capitalism regulates against is the formation of monopolies. So how do we defend against that? Through regulation, through antitrust regulations, for example, right? And copyright spamming, again, how do you defend against that? Through regulation. Capitalism is not against regulation. That's anarchism. Or maybe like anarcho-capitalists and maybe laissez-faire capitalists, they are against regulation. The people who like capitalism, but like a form of maybe more like a Scandinavian form of capitalism, they're more in favor of having a free market, having less involvement of the government, but also having regulations when it makes sense. So there's the answer. Thank you so much, Asian American. Okay, so this one, do you want to read the rest?
Lok Shakshi, thank you for the super chat. Saying you are great, but can't win under the atheist banner. I don't completely understand what you mean by win. But regardless, we began as a community for atheists around the world, and that's how we remain.
Yes. I mean, the reason why you think we can't win under the atheist banner is why we need the atheist banner, because we live in a world where everybody seems to be able to win with their communities except atheists, right? You know, the Christians win with their communities, Muslims win with their communities, Hindus win with their communities. Atheists are so looked down upon that their communities are not taken seriously, and they have a harder time organizing. And that's why we need to remain an atheist organization. Well, that's exactly because of the point you're making. All right.
Adam Staples gave another super chat. Thank you, saying, I tried sharing 3 sites on super chat, but YouTube didn't let me. Yeah, you're not allowed to share links unless you're a mod. About the Hamas massacre, October 7th map, October 7th. So I shared with Armin on X. The October 7th denialism is real. Yep, we are watching it in real time.
It's crazy.
It is. It's
Thank you for the super chat.
And Luke gave us a super chat just saying, love your work, guys. Well, thank you. And thank you for supporting the show and making sure that we can continue by giving us your support. That's actually a good reminder, guys. You do not have to send a super chat to support us. You don't have to do anything financial, because we encourage you to take care of yourself financially before you help others. And the easiest and most simple and free way is to like the stream, subscribe to the channel, because we are quickly approaching 50K. The Atheist Republic army is growing every day. The militia is expanding of our global secular movement. So make sure to join the army and hit subscribe.
Yes.
Because we do this show every week.
And the bell notification. And leave a comment after the show. The comments really help grow the. If you leave a comment after the show, the comments really, like, the algorithm will, like, oh my God, this video must be so important. Why are so many people leaving comments under the show? So like YouTube is gonna go and find other people, like, come watch this. People are leaving comment. So leave a comment, because it just basically makes the algorithm just on fire, puts it on fire or something.
Yes.
Anyway. What is this?
And there was something else I wanted to say. Yes, help us make homage, pay our tithe, give a sacrifice to the YouTube algorithm gods.
Yes, the god bots.
The only gods that we
feed the bot gods. Oh yeah, feed the bot gods. We should meet that.
What?
No, bot. Like a robot. Bot as in robot, not as in. Okay, fine. You're just.
Yeah,
this is an atheist. This is why we need God, people. This is why we need God. Okay.
I need Jeebus.
All right.
Alicia Ephraim. How do you pronounce it? Ephraim. Yeah. Said, thank you guys, enjoying the channel very much. Thank you. I don't know. I liked that comment. But gods. Okay. The bouquet gods.
Okay. Let's clap for the next.
As a fellow distinguished gentleman of culture, I also worship at the altar of booty.
Oh my God. Okay. I don't know if I can recover from this. All right.
I always love the portion of the show where I just go full unhinged. Oh, it's a good time.
Okay. Next news.
Okay. I'm ready. Can you help me clap again?
Yes,
wait.
Next news. Oh my God. I knew we're not going to recover from this. Okay. Next news.
Islamic Republic's biker gang. Iran taps Hell's Angels to kill dissidents. The United States and Britain have imposed sanctions on a network allegedly directed by Iran's Ministry of Intelligence and Security to target Iranian dissidents, defectors, and opposition figures for assassination. This network reportedly includes members of the notorious Hell's Angels outlaw motorcycle gang. Among the sanctioned individuals is Naji Ibrahim Sharifi Zindashti, identified as the leader of this operation, accused of orchestrating assassinations and kidnappings to silence critics of the Islamic Republic globally. Brian Nelson, the Treasury's Undersecretary for Terrorism and Financial Intelligence, condemned these actions, stating, quote, "The Iranian regime's continued efforts to target dissidents and activists demonstrate the regime's deep insecurity and attempt to expand Iran's domestic repression internationally. These sanctions aim to freeze any U.S. assets of the individuals involved and prevent Americans from dealing with them. The network's operations have notably included recruitment for assassination plots within the United States, highlighting a concerted effort to extend Iran's suppressive tactics beyond its borders." So this was a news suggestion given to us by our lovely editor, Dee. We love Dee on this channel. And when she sent this to me, I was like, this is wild. We have to cover it. So Darko is saying capitalism at work. Okay. So
Hey,
here
don't you
is
dare.
here is a little background on this story. So first of all, this isn't the first time the Islamic Republic has done this. Dee also sent me a story that happened in Germany a few years ago where there was a Iranian German citizen who was a Hell's Angel in Germany. And this is in 2020. And what he did was he allegedly murdered a man that he thought was a mole for the police. So he murdered what he believed was an informant, dismembered his body, put the body pieces in cement, and then threw it into the bottom of the Rhine River before escaping to Iran. And then once he got back to Iran, he was tapped by the Iranian government to use his network to then go orchestrate attacks on Jewish properties and Jewish establishments around Germany. So then there was an incident where where a bunch of gunshots were fired at a Jewish establishment. I can't remember if it was like just a learning center or a synagogue. And then I think there was a potential firebombing attempt. So this isn't like the first. And again, I want to just reiterate with that specific attack, it was literally he was just tapped by the Iranian government to use his network to just go attack random Jewish buildings. What the hell? Okay, so let's go to the present day. So my understanding is that the person that the US has now sanctioned as the leader of this organization has been tapping the narcotics trafficking network known as the Hells Angels to go attempt to assassinate Iranian dissidents in the US. So I believe that one of the first Hells Angels that they tried to hire to do this was Canadian, and he was supposed to go into the US to go assassinate I think at least 2 targets. And I was like, this was a crossover I never would have expected. But apparently there's a history here, an international history where they just run around and do this. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that in the US where Masih al-Ninja, they were hiring people to do that as well, assassination as well. I think like now they're trying to find people that are more competent than the other people that they used to hire because they sucked.
I know.
They sucked. Yeah.
They have a like crazy bad track record. Although with the whole Masih al-Ninja thing, it almost makes it was so bad, it was so poorly executed that I almost think it was supposed to fail to send a message.
No, they are sometimes this incompetent. But
Oh my
what the hell? Like, they obviously don't give a crap anymore about the international pressure. The international pressure on the Islamic Republic has been so low and so pathetic that they get away with these things. Like, what is it going to be the backlash to this? This is why we criticize the Biden administration, because the Iranian regime feels so emboldened because no matter what they do, the Biden administration was releasing $6 billion back to the Islamic Republic, even though after they tried to kill Masih Ahmadinejad and do a whole bunch of other things. So it seemed like, okay, why should we stop doing this? You guys seem to be like still appeasing us even after we do these things. So why should we stop? Like, you're basically giving them the signal that it's okay to do these things. You're not protecting your citizens. That's why they keep doing that.
Yeah, it's absolutely crazy. So here's a little bit of background just to nail down the details. When the Treasury announced the names of those targeted for sanctions, the department also said that in 2021, the network recruited Damian Patrick John Ryan, a Canadian national and members of the Hells Angels outlaw motorcycle group, to assassinate individuals in the United States who fled Iran. The Treasury also said that Ryan recruited his fellow Hells Angels member, Adam Richard Pearson, for the assassination attempts. Both Ryan and Pearson are currently in prison abroad for unrelated criminal charges. Zindashti, Pearson, and Ryan were accused of conspiring to use interstate commerce in the commission of a murder-for-hire plot, according to the U.S. Department of Justice. It said the three conspired with each other in a plot to murder 2 residents in the state of Maryland who fled to the United States after one of them defected from Iran. And to my knowledge, the targets in the United States have not been identified. But this isn't, I mean, the assassination plots by the Islamic Republic of Iran are far-reaching and constant, because one thing I wanted to touch on recently, Armin, is that there has been a lot of pressure on the diaspora anti-regime media source, Iran International, because 2 of their most prominent hosts have been the target of assassination plots and attempts, I believe primarily in the UK. And that's been a very big story. But given, I think that you've probably followed that a lot more closely than me. So can you can you give a little bit of a background and explanation? I think that's really
these are anchors. These are anchors that I follow. Right, these are 2 anchors. At least one of them I follow. I usually hear like some anchors being threatened to be killed, but this was very hit really close to home to me, because this is the anchor that is the main source of my news. And now the Iranian government was trying to kill him. Let me Iran, and people were following them, going from their office to home. Like, they knew their movement, they know what time they show up at their office. In the UK, that's why they moved them to United States,
which is so shameful and embarrassing for the United Kingdom that I think it was the United Kingdom that literally told them that you have to leave the country. The United Kingdom is so inept that they know that they cannot provide their citizens and residents with enough security, to the point that they just recommend that they go elsewhere. That is such a national embarrassment. Why don't you get a freaking handle on your security concerns and the people tailing these individuals to target them for assassination, instead of telling them to get the fuck out of Dodge? Why don't you freaking go after the terrorists? What is wrong with the UK? Can you be more weak? It's insane. It's insane to me. They're like, oh yeah, we are so freaking inept at protecting the safety of journalists working in our country that we have to tell you to leave instead of the people trying to murk your ass. Are you?
Right.
That's absurd to me.
Yeah, so these are the 2 people. So this the lady on the right, her name is Sima Sabet, and the man on the left is Fardad Farahzad. And as soon as I wake up, this is the guy I watch. This is the man on the left, is my major source of number 1 source of news, and IRGC was plotting to kill him. The IRGC was plotting to kill the main source of my news. So they failed, by the way. He's in the US now. Yeah. So he's apparently safer. I mean,
that's the fact that was the move the UK made.
Right.
It's shameful.
Yeah.
For shame. For shame. This is the kind of shit that makes people say that London has fallen. I swear to God.
Yeah, I mean, as bad as the US is, like, they had to leave the UK for the US for safety. That tells you a lot about the UK. By the way, if you're in the UK, consider leaving. I don't know. Is that a good recommendation? I don't know.
Well, for
I
what
don't know. I
reason?
mean, I'm honestly, maybe that's a bad recommendation, but I'm just sometimes glad that I don't live in the UK. I don't know. Maybe it's just
I mean, the
I
economy
just
is
don't.
its
I'm not.
own struggle bus.
Yeah, well, people are saying I'm right. Oh, UK is home. Oh, I'm sorry, Mohammed. Okay, never mind. I'll take that back. Atheist gamer saying what pressure would work? Well, for the Islamic Republic right now has a huge budget deficit, right? The government of the Islamic Republic has a huge budget deficit, and they're going to crash and burn, Susanna, if it continues, right? So for the Islamic Republic to be able to stay in power, right now they need to be able to sell 1.5 million barrels per day at the price of $85, right? So with the sanctions right now, they are only able to sell a million a day, mostly to China. And because of the sanctions, so the price of oil per barrel last time I checked was $75, right? But because the Islamic Republic has sanctions on it, when they sell the oil, they have to sell it at a discount. And so they're selling it at $65 per barrel. So everything is going to crash and burn if this continues. If the Biden administration increases the sanctions, because a lot of the oil that Iran is selling to China is because the United States is letting them, they could basically crack down harder and stop it. If they manage to bring it back down to 500,000, it's going to completely destroy the Islamic Republic. They're not going to be able to afford that. And I don't know how this is going to, regardless of their protests that are happening in Iran, like a lot of people are looking into that for like a toppling of the government. Even without that, I really don't know how they're going to be able to continue, given that they don't have enough money for their own budget. Like I don't know what's going to happen. Like I honestly don't know what's going to happen. Even without the protests, this seems like something is going to crash and burn at some point. So yeah, I think like if that could work, more sanctions, more economic pressure. Like if Biden administration was more trying to actually enforce the sanctions that they have right now and stop a lot of the sale of oil, that would be major pressure on the Islamic Republic. Major pressure. That would work. They will back down. I mean, even after the attacks that Biden did in Syria right now, the missile attacks on Iranian proxies in Syria and Iraq, the Islamic government just already came out and like, okay, let's reduce enrichment of uranium. Let's also come out and bring all our military officers back to Iran and say like, oh, we're not going to attack Americans. Like they cower away like this when you actually put pressure. Like what the Biden administration doesn't understand, that there is no carrot that works with these people, right? The only thing you like, the Biden administration thinks that they could work with carrots and sticks. Okay, they will eat the carrot and they will ask for more. The Islamic Republic only understands the stick. It does not understand the language of the carrot. And
Shocking.
this is
Terrorists
something that
only understand force and power. Shocking.
right. Yeah. Oh, and also Atheist Gamer saying, does it affect normal Iranians economically? It does, but there is no other way. There is no other way. And it impacts the government more than the people. And a lot of people who are suffering because of this economically, they're welcoming the sanctions. Many Iranians are welcoming the sanctions because like their only way out is for the regime to fall. And even though they're suffering for it, because of the sanctions, they're also asking for the sanctions.
Like, if you think, I know that there are many countries around the world, it kind of feels like every country around the world is going through a cost of living crisis. But let me tell you, the cost of living crisis in Iran is like that times X, like, or 10X. Like, it's really severe. Like, people can't afford pasta, let alone meat. And I remember Armin and I used to sometimes just look at the map. What do you call it? The chart of the currency, the tuman. Or what is a singular? It's a lira, right? No,
Real?
real. Sorry, yeah. The
Yeah. It's okay. Say tuman is fine.
yeah, because most people just use
Yeah.
tumans, but it's shocking, and I mean, we hear from our community
Yeah.
inside Iran how much people are struggling, and people that are young, like myself in Iran, like friends that are just having breakdowns because they cannot have a life unless they leave. It's the only option that they have. So people fight.
Inflation is at
they have to leave.
50%. Inflation in Iran is at 50%. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. So it's really, really severe. But what a lot of people don't understand is that there are, I don't know, organizations like NIAC here in the United States that push really hard for a lifting of sanctions. When I've done a lot of extensive work with Iranian communities who are protesting and want change in Iran, I have essentially never come across anyone who wants to lift sanctions. In fact, many people I know, both inside and outside Iran, want more sanctions. They fight for more sanctions, and they know what cost it comes at. But for the people that have lived inside Iran, grew up there, they say, we know that when sanctions get lifted and when money gets released to the regime or unfrozen, we know, we have watched ourselves, lived our whole lives or most of our lives, seen that we never see any of it. We've lived our whole lives seeing that it goes to funding terrorism around the region. It never comes back to us and never benefits us. It only goes back to destabilizing the region. So that's why they're not pushing to lift sanctions. They want acknowledgement and validation from the international community that what the regime is doing to them is wrong, a human rights violation, and in contravention with international norms. When sanctions are lifted, most people perceive that as the entire world not validating or acknowledging the severe level of torture, abuse, and subjugation that they've been exposed to for over 40 years. They're like, no, this is very important for us emotionally, for everyone else to acknowledge what's been done to us, what continues to be done to us. And the only way is sanctions, unless you want actual intervention. And I know a lot of Iranians that actually want boots on the ground. Now, that's something that a lot of people are surprised to hear or not prepared to talk about. I'm not saying we should do that. I'm just expressing that this is a real sentiment that exists.
Right. My hope, which is like a la la land, like pie in the sky hope, is for satellite internet and cryptocurrency to be able to eventually, again, I know this is pie in the sky dreaming, but I hope that eventually the Iranian people's economy gets separated from the government economy. I hope that there are going to be, because we're going to eventually have satellite internet, a lot of Iranians will be able to find job online that gets them connected to the global economy where they get paid in crypto, and trade with each other in crypto, independent from how devastating the Islamic Republic's government is going to be crashing. And because they're getting paid from outside, the economic power of the people and the ability and the purchasing power will increase significantly compared to the government, people who are working for the government. And therefore, with the economic power comes political power. So again, that's something that I dream of, but I don't know if that's going to happen. Also,
this is important for those who don't know, because the majority of Iran's economy is controlled by the IRGC, which is recognized as a terrorist organization in many, many countries.
Which leads really well to this other comment by this person saying, that is capitalism for you, when I was talking about how bad Iran's economy is, which you're wrong. It's actually the opposite. The reason why Iran's economy is so crap is because it's state controlled, because it's a form of command economy. And this is what I say to my Persian audience on the Jumhuri Bi Khodayan, which is the Persian version of the Atheist Republic channel. I always say to people, I hate Islam. But when it comes to the Islamic Republic, there is one thing about the Islamic Republic that is worse than the fact that it's Islamic. I think Islam is evil. Islam is horrible for the world, but there's something in the world that is worse than Islam, and that's communism, and that is state-controlled economy. That's command economy, right? And it's interesting because the Islamic Republic was a marriage of two different ideologies. It was Islamic ideologies and state-controlled economy, because the communists, it was the leftists and the Islamists together that managed to make the Islamic Republic work. And even though the mullahs eventually got rid of the leftists, their ideas and their method of management of economy stayed, right? And when it comes to that the policy of leftist command economy policies of the Islamic Republic, that has been more devastating to the people of Iran than the Islamic nature of the Islamic Republic. As harmful as the Islamic nature of Islamic Republic has been to the people, the fact that they have state-controlled economy, that has been more harmful to the people of Iran. And I say this as somebody on an atheist channel. On an atheist channel, you're supposed to hear that Islam is the worst. I tell people in Iran, they have suffered from communist ideas more than Islamic ideas in Iran, the people of Iran. Same with Afghanistan, by the way. Same with Afghanistan.
Yeah. Okay, so we have a bunch of super chats and also a comment I want to address. Davy Boy is saying, I'm not so certain that most Iranians want Western troops to invade. I never said most. I was just expressing that this is a sentiment that exists.
We said many, not most.
Yeah.
Susanna was careful with her language.
I didn't even say many.
It's many. It's many.
Oh, wow.
But it's not most. It's definitely not most, but it is many. But I think Susanna was very careful with her language. So good job, Susanna.
Also, Balakrishnan just became a member. Thank you. Welcome to Satan's Minions. And in relation to the story, Secular Sakai said, I know Iranians in serious need of income who will only accept certain specific crypto payments for work. The government cannot be trusted there, of course. Yeah, no, it's its own underground economy. And a super chat from Sakai. Thank you, Sakai, saying, I visited the grave of a man this week who escaped the Taliban in 2021, only to die a few months later from a drunk driver.
Oh,
I hope others are safe. That's heartbreaking.
That is heartbreaking.
And Gasian American asks, thoughts on Biden's airstrikes? Armin, take it away. This is a meaty question. And also, I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Right.
Answer.
Okay. So, as mentioned on the previous stream, the Biden administration is not going to attack Iran. So we were hoping the best that we could get was massive, serious strikes. And the fact that they attacked a high number of places within just a couple of hours seemed to impress some people. Some people, even though a lot of people are saying that's not enough, it is more than what many people expected from the Biden administration. A lot of people are saying that if it doesn't lead to actual casualties of people from IRGC, they're never going to be impressed. It does seem to be Biden's administration seem to have been hitting a lot of places that a lot of the proxies, Iranian proxies, didn't expect themselves. So that is pretty good. There seems to be a lot of missiles and a lot of drones that is owned by the IRGC proxies that are blowing up, which is going to be very, very expensive for the IRGC. Unfortunately, because this attack was signaled before it happened, most of the most important people were taken out of Syria and Iraq, so they were pretty safe. So I'm not going to expect seeing a lot of high important commanders of IRGC dying, which is basically what we need right now. But so that's not going to happen because this attack was signaled way in advance before it happened. So they went back to Iran. It is very costly. It is not enough. However, the Biden administration is saying that this was just the beginning and they're going to continue the strikes. So I think it's too early to judge whether it's enough or not. If the strikes stop where it has right now, I think it's safe to say they haven't been enough. but I think it's too early to judge how significant these strikes are, given that the Biden administration is saying that they're going to continue. So I think we have to wait and see how significant the second waves of strikes are. But for the first attempt, they seem to be bigger than what most people anticipated. They're like 80 places within a few hours were taken out immediately. And I could see, like, when I was watching the explosions, it seemed like the explosions keep continuing, and then the experts were saying, "Oh, these are the missiles in that place that are blowing up after." So they seem to be targeting places that a lot of ammunition and advanced weaponry was being stored. So that is very significant. It is going to paralyze a lot of the operations by the Iranian proxy. So it was significant, but not enough.
One thing you told me was that I don't know if it was before Biden started the strikes or once he began them, but there were lots of people on the Atheist Republic Persian side in Iran that were like, I hope he strikes Iran next.
Oh, yeah. People are like, okay, guys, Armin, next week at my house, or what? Like, apparently, like, some people are joking about that. People are like, oh, yeah, should we go to our basements now? Hopefully we have to go to our basements. Like, please tell us that we have to hide in our basements.
Daddy Biden is coming to liberate us. Oh my God.
Again, not all of them, some of them, right?
What do you think about?
I don't know. There was some person that said, like, I know in Iranian Discord, one of our friends in Iran, he was literally saying that, you know what, if there are strikes on Tehran itself and I die because of it, I'm not going to be mad. And like, I'm willing to, like, I think it's worth it. Like, he was like, even if I get killed because I was like struck by one of these missiles, like, come, please come bomb Tehran. I'm willing to even like be under these missiles if you're coming. Like, I'm not saying that most people feel like that. I'm just saying I know people in Iran who are even saying that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you told me that when the US invaded Iraq, like, I mean, you were still living in Iran at the time.
Oh, yeah.
You guys were like, oh my God, bring it on. Come to us next, blah, 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 until all this stuff at Abu Ghraib came out.
Yeah, no. When Bush attacked Iraq, the kids in our school, like, all were in the yard, and almost all of them were shouting, "We are next! We are next! We are next!" like, we're gonna be free. It's Iraq first, and now Iran is going to be free second. Like, that was like the vast majority of the kids were like chanting that.
Wow.
It's weird. Yeah,
wow.
Yeah. Anyways.
Well, that isn't something you're going to hear on Tanky Media. You're not going to hear that on the Gray Zone.
Yes. All right. So I wanted to share something. Yeah, Ahmed is saying that's crazy. Yeah. Okay. So Susie, can you explain to us what are we watching here?
That's a weird way to put it.
Yeah.
Guys, last night I did a live stream with Har Sultan, which was really fun because I haven't had a personal one-on-one chat with him in a long time. And yeah, we were just kind of talking about the world after October 7th, like how our minds have changed, how the world has changed. What else? Oh yeah, Seed of Iblis, I saw you in the live chat. Thanks for being there. And also D as well. It was awesome.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about it? I don't know. I had fun.
I listened to it. I was sleeping when you guys had the live stream, because if I didn't sleep, I would have crashed for the stream right now. So sorry for not being there, but I listened to it after, and this is one of the most intelligent conversations on this topic I've ever seen. Like, you guys have to go watch. No, it was so good. You're so good at this, Susanna. You have no idea. So the title is Life in the Post-October October 7th World with Susanna McIntyre on the Har Sultan channel. And if you don't listen to this, you're missing one of the most nuanced takes on this topic. I was so proud of Susanna. It was every single minute of it. I was like, this is so good. This is such great content. This is such high level, deep analysis. It was really good. Better than most, it's hard to, I can't imagine, like, Susanna is like really one of the leading commentators online. She needs to be, guys, make Susanna famous, because I really think, like, I listen to a lot of people, and Susanna's commentary is really, really high up there. I really do admire her. Like, even if I didn't know her, if I just discovered her without being friends with her, I would definitely like watch one of her, follow her content wherever she goes. That's
Oh
how.
my
That's,
god, I'm blushing.
Mm.
Thank you.
no, go watch this, guys. It's really good. It's like almost 2 hours of amazing analysis. So go listen to it.
Yeah. There was so much I felt like we still had to cover. But yeah, I don't know. One thing that I wanted to talk about that we didn't get into that much is I've been thinking a lot about immigration, because I've been working through kind of my own personal cognitive dissonance about different stances or feelings I have about immigration in different countries and from different places. And I think that's something I thought I want to work on and articulate better, because I think it's very important.
Let me put the link to the stream in the
Oh,
live
yay.
chat.
Yeah, make sure to check it out, guys. And tell Horace to have me back.
Yeah. All right. Okay, so guys, don't forget to like the stream. Don't, if I say like we're about to end the stream, you guys will go without liking the stream. So before I say this is the end of the show, I have to remember, like, Susie, we have to say like, so that's it, that people will just go away. So you have to tell them to like the stream before you tell them that we're about to end the end of the stream. So guys, don't go anywhere. You're not allowed. Shame on anybody. We put so much effort into, like, we, mostly Susie, put so much effort into this show. You could just reward us with a simple like. It doesn't take much effort. So do it now. Okay. I'm bringing back the yelling. Is that okay? What do you think? I'm bringing back the
Yeah,
yelling.
I adjust my volume accordingly.
Oh, you did. You knew it was coming. Okay.
Yeah, I get a little tingling sensation. I know it's coming.
Oh yeah, guys, we have an emoji for me yelling. That's how
Oh,
people.
also people are telling us, and I just checked it out, guys. We just hit 45K.
We did
Thank you
live on
for
air.
subscribing. Yes, next milestone is 50K. Okay.
We just did, guys. Like, while being on air, we had 45K. That's great. Well, Susie, congrats. The people in the live chat, congrats. That's amazing. Amazing. Okay. Mazel tov. Thank you, Ali. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for everybody who has liked the stream and the super chat. And also, shame be upon whoever has not liked the stream. Okay. I'm not
Shut up.
Be shut up. Be shut up. Why have you not? Okay. Okay. Thank you, guys. And till next stream. Bye. Mwah.
Bye.